What's going on, everybody? We back, episode 5, Motion for You podcast. Today, I'm not gonna lie to you. Today's gonna be probably my favorite episode because today I'm introducing y'all to the woman who brought me into this world. My mother. Ma, what's going on? You good?
Hey, I'm excited to be here. Hi, everyone.
That's what's up. Listen, so we got Ma Dukes in here today, and the reason why I brought Ma Dukes on here today is because I wanted her to give her perspective on kind of her on everything that's going on right now in the sports world and kind of let her tell her story a little bit and her background. So we got some good questions. We got a good episode planned today. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into it. So first and foremost, kind of give everybody your introduction, first name, last name, where you from, all that things.
All right, so I'm Shayla Davis, born and raised Charlotte, North Carolina.
That's what's
Percy's
up.
mom.
Percy's mom. So when you see her, you see me. You know what I'm saying? So all right, Ma, we're gonna dive right into it. All right. So now, obviously you're older than me, so I can only go on just things that I've heard, you know what I'm saying? So growing up in Charlotte, you know what I'm saying? I know everybody always say, your mom, she was a good athlete, things that and the third. And I'm like, I don't know, but I ain't gonna lie. She tell me all the time, Percy, you get your athletics from me. So I'll just take her word for it. But growing up in Charlotte, you know what I'm saying? So kind of tell me about your sports journey and all the sports that you play and what was your favorite?
Got it. So I was always athletic. Track was my favorite sport. But I played all sports. I did basketball, I did soccer, I was a cheerleader. But track was really what I was passionate about.
For real. So which one was your favorite?
Track,
Track.
definitely.
Where it was so that's
I
what's
like
up.
soccer too, but track.
Shaq. Okay, so I ain't gonna lie. You told me this all the time as a kid. You used to say like you was so fast that you ran with the boys. Is that really true?
That is a true story. I did AU track, and I really, when I really got serious about it, I probably was in seventh grade. Back
Yeah,
then, it wasn't middle school. Back then, it was junior high school.
got you.
So,
And that was seventh, eighth, and ninth
seventh,
at
eighth,
that
and
time
ninth. So I
period.
was a seventh grader running with ninth graders,
Ooh,
and my
okay.
coaches used to make me run with the boys.
Mm,
Yeah, that's true.
okay. So you basically saying like in a perfect world, like let's just say if everything could have went how you wanted it to go in the perfect world, you would have went Division 1 for track for sure.
I would have.
Got you.
If I did not get off track in high
Yeah,
school,
you would have
definitely.
went. It
It
would have
would
been
have
in
been
the
all the
cards.
way. I don't even know if you would be in existence because I probably
True.
would have been on a different path.
I feel you.
Yeah, but I don't have any regrets. I'm glad you're here.
Nah, that's dope. That's dope. In the high school that you went to,
West Charlotte, let's go.
listen, all my West Charlotte Lions out there. Listen, you got an
Dub
alumni,
C,
Dub
Dub
C. There you
C.
go. Guy had to shout that out. All right, for sure. All right, so we're going on to the next question. So, at a young age, you put me into hoops at a young age, and you were the first person to really put the ball in my hands. So, watching me grow up, at one point in your life, so were you able to be like, okay, like Percy's gonna be good at basketball?
You know what? I was really reflecting before I got here, and you really started loving a basketball at a very young age, like before you were walking.
Hmm.
And I remember just watching you in the room, and you would just be so obsessed with the basketball.
Yeah.
It was just the craziest thing. So I think, to be honest, around 2 years old is when I knew, like, I was like, okay, as soon as he's at an age where I can get him signed up, I'm gonna sign him up because there's something about this basketball.
Mm.
Definitely.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm gonna give y'all a little story time. So this is real life. Like, so at the time period when I was like a younger kid, I could always remember having my basketball in my hand and watching a basketball movie. So what movie? So what movie?
Oh my goodness,
Was it Like
Space
Mike? Was it
Jam.
Space Jam or Like Mike? I
Space
thought it was Like
Jam.
Mike. Thought it was Like Mike. The
Oh,
Bow Wow? Was
it
it
was
Like Mike?
Space Jam and it was like Mike. It
Yeah.
was actually both. And y'all, Percy would just keep watching these every Saturday morning, like clockwork. He would always get up before. He would just always get up early. And I taught Percy, and I have another son, Narelle. But I taught them how to do things for themselves at a very early age. So he knew back then we had DVD players.
Yeah, we did.
He knew how to get up in the morning. He knew how to throw that DVD in and hit play. And he would sit there with his little juice box and watch. It was really Space Jam.
Yeah.
Watch Space Jam, and I would wake up to Space Jams every
Yeah.
Saturday.
So that's really
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. That's really the love came from. And I think I ain't gonna lie to you. I think now is the point I could really thank you because I feel like if it weren't for you, I probably wouldn't have had the love that I have for the game, even now, even coaching it. So I definitely gotta give you props to that. All right. So this next question is really good because I want a lot of parents to really hear this one out and understand like it's levels to everything, right? So when I was younger, right, and even in my younger ages, middle school, high school, whatever, you put me around all good coaches growing up, right? And I'm definitely grateful for that. And you never talked to them about my playing time. You never came to them if I wasn't playing a lot. And and I think that goes to show that you cared about them developing me as a young man versus the things that I did on the court. And I think um that was very instrumental in my journal in my journey. Sorry. So I kind of want you to give the parents some advice about letting your kids go through the process, allowing the coaches to coach, and kind of talk to them about the things that you saw me face and everything I had to overcome in those moments.
Definitely. Raising you, it was definitely a lot of variables. One being that I was a single mom. So
Yeah.
I used to have the fear when I was a single mom of just you not having what you needed as a young boy. I had a fear, and I can just remember it like it was yesterday. And so I knew I had to surround you around men because you
Yeah.
didn't have a male in the household. And so sports was just one avenue for me to ensure that you were around men so you can so you actually had something to go by, because you can't,
Right.
I can't teach you to be a man. I still can't teach you to be a man. You are a man, but I
Yeah.
couldn't teach you back then.
Mm-hmm.
So every parent's journey is definitely different. So because I was going in it from that perspective, to make sure that you were surrounded by other men, positive men,
Yeah.
I allowed those men to impart in you everything that I couldn't.
Yeah.
And you, Percy, growing up, you were very unique. You're very special. You are still very special to me. And but you had your hard work ethic, like you've always had it. Like you've always had it. Like I'm talking about before kindergarten. You've always had it. Percy used to cry, and he still has it. He still does this. He still doesn't cry, but he hates being late.
Yes.
He hates it. He hates it. So when he was a little boy, now I was a single mom. I had two sons, and Percy was the oldest, but I have a Percy's 27. I have a 24-year-old. So I wasn't on time for everything. I just wasn't. I was juggling. At one point, I can remember working two jobs, and I had both of them in sports, and it's just one of me. And so Percy, I always make sure he was involved in basketball. But if we were 3 minutes late, Percy would cry in the car. He would cry, he would be so upset. He would be sitting by the car door like, "Mom, we need to go." I'm talking about at a young age, y'all. I'm talking about like 5 and 6 years old. Like he knew what time it was, and he knew that we should have left 10 minutes ago. And so Percy, your drive, because everything that I signed you up for, you wanted to work hard. So when I got to your practices with all these coaches, and I really just kind of took my hands off. I really wasn't in a place, to be honest, like mentally as a single mom, because most days I was exhausted.
Yeah.
So I was really appreciative whatever those coaches brought to the table, because in my mind, I just wanted you to have positive interaction with other males.
Yeah.
So to be honest, the only time that I can really reflect on when I start, like not necessarily questioning coaches, which I never really questioned coaches, because to be honest, most of the teams, whether you play rec ball, AU ball, school ball, I didn't really see a shift in like when you started until you were in high school.
Yeah.
Because you started all the time. You were
Yeah.
the top player. It was never really a time where you didn't start. Like the team needed you to win the game, right? But in high school, because you start working with other levels, like when you was with Coach Jeff,
Yeah.
like
Team
you were
Charlotte.
working with, you were then working with like athletes who
Yeah.
now play professional
Everybody was
ball.
good.
Yeah,
Everybody was good.
So I can't even remember going to those AAU teams and you didn't start.
Yeah.
So even as a parent, like, well, first of all, I'm never going to question Coach Jeff,
For
because
sure.
Jeff
He
is
a pro. You can't question him. He's a
I
pro.
ain't gonna question him anyway.
Yeah.
However, so it wasn't difficult for me to sit back, but I was really hoping that you understood better, like when you go more advanced, like what you're
Yeah.
really up against to stay competitive.
Yeah. We was playing the top of the top in the country.
Exactly. So I really encourage parents who have athletes, whether it's a male or female, let the coaches do their jobs. Even now, like I go to Percy's games sometimes and I see like parents arguing with coaches, arguing with referees. And especially in our culture, I really just encourage us to do a better job. The coaches are in place for a reason. Let them coach. And if it's something that you truly do not disagree with, because our culture, we need to do better in this area. Have a sidebar with that coach when it's appropriate, not during the game. And if for whatever reason your child is not getting playing time, instead of going after the coach, I really recommend that you reflect and have your child to reflect so they can figure out what they need to do better to get more playing time, because it's a growth opportunity. Also, for parents, I really also recommend, a lot of times when we do that, when we step in for our children and we going after the coach or going after the referee or whatever the case may be, we're not training them for real life situations, right? Because when you're an adult, like, nobody can step into your corporate America job and be like, you can't do this to my child. And so unfortunately, what that turns into in real life world is that you have these young adults who don't even understand how to work in a professional environment because they were never trained to follow instructions. Like, it doesn't exist. Right. I'm an assistant director where I work at. I see it every day, all day. I see it with older adults and I'm just blown away. So I just think that we need to do a better job in our culture as parents and let the coaches do their job, period.
Yeah. And I think you said something so good too, just about how facing adversity. Like, for me, you always taught me at a young age, like, whatever you start, you must finish. You know, if I wasn't playing a lot, like, you could have easily been a parent to say, I'm gonna take you to another team, but you didn't do that. Right. And I think in today's AAU culture, where if somebody don't like a situation or a child is facing adversity, parents are so quick to yank their kid out of a situation and say, oh, I'm gonna go play for this team. But I always say it's problems everywhere you go. So you got to be able to balance and say, okay, I'm gonna make the most of this situation. And like you said, reflect on what can I do better.
Right. No, definitely. And again, big picture, setting our children up for real life. Because if you keep pulling them out, signing them up, pulling them out, signing them up because of something that you don't like you're giving them an unrealistic picture of what's getting ready to happen after 18. It's unrealistic, because in the real world, most people have to work a job where even if you have your own company, you're still working for somebody because you got to have clients, right? That money got to come in one way or the other. So we're setting our children up for unrealistic expectations when we do that. And yes, parents, sometimes it does hurt to sit back and watch your child not get playing time, right? We want our children to get playing time, but you have to understand and you have to trust the process. You have to trust the process, because if you have a child that really, really desires to play that sport, basketball, whatever else it is, trust me, them sitting on the bench, they're going to either show up at practice so they can get some playing time, or they're going to make a decision and continue, I guess, working at the pace that they're working where they're not getting playing time. But it's going to develop them into the man or young woman that they need to be. Yeah.
That's a fact. Definitely. Shout out my dudes. You came out here speaking gems today. Okay.
Hey.
I'm not gonna lie to you though. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna take some of that clip and I'm gonna definitely post it. I ain't gonna lie. You don't ruffle a lot of feathers, so you may get a lot of reactions, but that's cool.
Okay.
All right. So now we're gonna kind of switch gears a little bit. We're gonna get a little bit deeper. So as you said before, you know, you were a single mom. You raised me and Ariel together. You know what I'm saying? So kind of talk to me about that process and kind of how it expanded into today. And if you could go back and change anything, what would you go back and change?
Definitely. So all the single moms out there, shout out to all the single moms. Shout out to the 2-parent homes too. You know, as I'm older now, I now realize that just because a child has 2 parents doesn't mean that they have 2 parents that are present in their lives, right? So I'm very hard on myself, number one. So being a single mom, it's like I always felt like I had to do things more.
Yeah.
And I told myself I was not going to get emotional on the show.
It's okay.
So I do apologize. But I always felt like I had to go over and beyond because y'all, it was just me. You know, obviously we have a supportive family, but at the end of the day, you all were with me 100% of the time. Yeah. So it's just tough being a single mom. So for the single parents out there, whether you're a single dad or whether you're a single mom, like having your children involved in sports, maybe they don't like sports, but having them involved in whatever that they're passionate about, please make it happen. Sometimes we still got to eat, right? So single mom, I had 2 jobs at one time. I'm talking about I worked 2 full-time jobs to ensure that we didn't miss a beat. But in that, I still had to make sure that I had to have them involved in sports. So I'm just saying sometimes as single parents, we're like, well, okay, we working these jobs, but we forget the component that my child also still needs this. So because, you know, you're really blessed because you had a mom who worked crazy hours, and I
Yeah.
still made time to make sure that you were in sports. But there are children out here where their parents, all they know how to do is to just work, and they don't
Yeah.
really, I don't want to say make time, because it's hard when you work on one job. It's exhausting. You're exhausted. You don't want to really deal with anything after you work those type of hours. But we have children in our culture that don't get any type of involvement at all, because
Yeah.
they have a single mom in the home just trying to make ends meet, so they don't have time to figure out how I'm gonna take you to basketball, how I'm gonna take you to soccer, how I'm gonna take you to swimming, because their main goal is to get food on the table.
Right.
Um, and I'm sorry, what else were we
So,
supposed to be talking about? I got kind of off
nah,
track.
you're good. So everything that you just brought up, if you could go back and change anything, how you did, it could be anything, how you did things. Is there something that you would go back and change?
Yes, related to you. To be honest, I would change my whole story, but but I'm learning in life that you know, you do what you we make decisions based on what we think is best at the moment.
Right.
That's what I have come to learn. So when I reflect
Hmm.
back about all the things that I wish I would have done when you and I were
Yeah.
smaller, I have to remind myself at the moment I used the tools and resources that I had, and I made the best decisions that I thought were best at the moment.
Right.
So reflecting back, I see that I didn't make all the right decisions, but at the moment, that's what I thought I needed to do.
Yeah.
One thing that I would go back and definitely change. So when you got in high school, I had you. Now Percy was always in private school, for people who didn't know. And that was
Yeah.
one of the areas that I was trying to fill a void on my end. Not necessarily that person was asking me to go to private school, but I was so hard on myself that I felt like he didn't have a dad in the home. So I had to do everything like 10 times better. Right. So I worked 2 and 3 jobs just to pay for Percy's private school. I wanted to
Hmm.
make sure he was in private school, because at the moment, at the time, I thought that him being in private school would provide a better education. That's not my mindset now, but that was my mindset at the time. And so, but one thing that I wish I would not have done when you were in high school, I really wish I would have put you in public school,
Mm.
not private school.
Why?
For me, the the main reason is that your culture experience. So when you were in 11th grade, you went to a school which I won't name,
Yeah.
but it was predominantly white,
For sure.
and that's probably the worst decision that I've ever made.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that I ever made, but it's probably in my top 5.
Yeah.
And but on the flip side of that, it exposed you to a lot of things that you didn't even understood existed.
Yeah.
And so that was good. So you won't be blindsided to the things that actually happen as it relates to racism, etc.
Yeah.
So, but I should not have made that decision. I would have redid that. I don't know if I would have put you in public school, or maybe put you in a more diverse high school setting.
Yeah.
But that's definitely something that I would have done differently.
I look at it from two perspectives. I felt like me going to private school was a good opportunity, mainly because academically the class sizes were smaller and I was able to get what I needed. And then from an athletic standpoint, it put me in a position where I had to learn how to lead. And like, cause especially my freshman through my junior year, like I was in a position where I was one of the better players. So it taught me how to lead and bring people together. But now looking back on it, I would probably say going to public school probably would have shaped me a little bit more, only because it's more like every man for themselves. And
Yes.
you gotta kind of get it how you live, and thankfully, I had friends that were in the public school system. So I was around it, but I wasn't like in the public school system.
Right.
So I definitely understand the bits and pieces. And I think one thing that I was blinded to in the private school was just about how, even though you can be a nice person and you can give back to so much, people are still gonna view you a certain way and they're gonna have their assumptions. So I'll share a quick story. I feel like the biggest thing my 11th grade year, what did it for me when I left that school, was because I was facing some racial things on the daily, where I felt like I thought people were my friend, but would make slick comments and do certain things to the point where I got fed up and I felt like I was getting ready to like lose my character and lose myself. And so it really was a big thing. Like I think we sat down with the
Yeah.
headmaster.
Yeah.
We sat down with the headmaster, principal. It was like a
was
really
a big
big thing,
thing.
because we were actually, on a real note, like it's over now, but we were like thinking about going to like the press with
We
it
were
for
thinking
real.
about like, listen, okay, we get ready to show y'all, like, don't play with us. We get ready to take it to the parking lot.
But yeah, no, it really got to a serious situation where it was gonna go to the media, and so we
Yeah.
just decided to
Let it
get
go.
out of that. And then my senior year, we still was in private, but I was in a more diverse environment with a lot of my childhood friends and a great coach. So it definitely shaped me to who I am. So that's good.
And just so you all know, I was playing about the parking lot joke. I'm not promoting any type of violence, but it was a heated situation.
Yeah, it was
It
tough.
was really a tough situation, but we
Yeah.
did overcome that situation. And another pro I just wanted to mention about putting you in that environment, though, Percy, you can I sit back and watch you sometimes. You all, it doesn't matter what environment Percy goes into, it doesn't matter what ethnicity of people, it doesn't matter. Percy can talk to anyone, anywhere. We can go out of the country, and Percy act like he knew these people. I'm like, dude, you don't know those people. But so I can say that because he's been in so many different environments within, your school,
Hmm.
your time frame, he has the ability to relate to so many, to pretty much anybody he
Anybody.
talked to.
Yeah,
So that is a pro.
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now we moving to the part of the podcast. It's about to get spicy. So
It's about to get spicy.
yeah, so
I don't know what it's about.
we call this hot take, aka full court press questions. All right. So here we go. All right. Question number one. In your prom track days, so young Shayla, right?
I'm
At the
still
same
young though,
age.
but okay,
No, you are, but I'm
whatever.
saying
I
like
just
when you
like-
was really running for real,
Yeah.
right? Let's say, what'd you say, like in middle school? So it's junior high, right?
Junior
Which one
high.
all right. So that's like all right, bet. So we'll say like 6th, 7th grade. Me in 6th or 7th grade versus you in 6th or 7th grade.
I would leave you in the dust. I am not even playing.
Like
I
I
was
had no
bad.
chance.
I mean, you might have it. I ain't saying you're not gonna have a chance, but
You faster
you're
than
gonna
me?
get beat. Yes.
So I ain't had no, like you basically like you smoking me. Like if we going like a 40-yard dash, I'm getting left.
Okay, I ain't saying I'm gonna smoke you, but you're not gonna win. I'm gonna win. Off the top.
I'm
And I'm
betting
confident.
on
I wish we
me.
can go back and I can go back to myself at that age and race you.
Yeah.
You would be disappointed.
I don't know. I feel like I was super fast. I mean, I still am, but I feel like I was really super fast. Like
No, not like
I would like to
was.
see. Well, I will say this, and this is the true story too. When I had to be about maybe 10 or 11, and we stayed over there, by
Done
North
with-
Lake. No, this is at
Oh,
North Lake, at
Lake.
Newfield,
Okay.
off Newfield Street. And we went to the park, and the park had like a lot of grass area. I remember this like this was yesterday. I ain't gonna lie to you. I had to be about 10, I think. My mom, she did beat me in a race. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was popping it, and she was like, "Let's race," and she did beat me. But I was 10 though, so
I mean, 10,
don't
but
know.
how old was I though?
shoot, at the time, probably in your early 30s.
Okay.
And you still though, you weren't. Yeah, that's the only time we raced, and I ain't gonna lie to y'all. And this is how I know I would have got her because she was like, "I don't want to race you no more."
Probably because I was out of breath. Not because
Maybe.
I couldn't beat you. Yeah.
I don't
because
know.
I couldn't beat you.
I would probably give it to you though, because you actually did run track. Like I didn't really run track until I got to high school, so you probably would have got me at 12
I was pretty good.
for sure. All right. So in my years of playing basketball, what would you say is like your favorite memory, game, like favorite setting where you're like, okay, like I'm proud of you as a mother?
Got it.
I mean, I know there's so many
It's
like
so
over the
many,
years, but
yeah.
like, can you remember like one or two moments where you're like, nah, like that's my son?
I can remember one thing at mostly all your games,
Yeah.
no matter what age you were, is that Percy, you could like see the whole court. Like
Yeah.
you were the point guard,
Point
right?
guard, yeah.
For all of your years, but you could see, and it used to amaze me. Like you could be dribbling the ball up the court, and you can get to half court, and then go past the half court line, and it's like you see this guy open that's near the basket, and because you could pass, like you could do
Yeah.
everything so advanced at your age, but you would pass it. I mean, it's just like I was like, how did he see that guy that's way down the court? Like it would be just crazy stuff, but like your ability to like to see the whole coach, to see the whole court, and also one thing that has always stood out, because there's so many things, but another thing that always kind of like a common theme is when team involvement.
Yeah.
Which sometimes I used to fuss at you about that.
Yeah,
But
she
he
used to get so
I used
mad
to get
at
so
me.
mad at Percy
I'll be
in the
like,
car, though.
because I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm gonna keep it real, right? I feel like I was before my time. Like I really was like a true point guard. Like if anybody know, I'm telling y'all, like for the kids out there, y'all see me now, y'all don't understand. Like when I was between the ages of 8 all the way really to the 17, like I played like a true point guard.
You
Like I
did.
loved Chris Paul, Rajon Rondo. Like those are my favorite point guards. You know what I'm saying? Like I would literally. And I ain't gonna lie, sometimes on the car ride home, she would get mad at me. She'd be like, why you keep passing him the ball? And I used to
Right.
tell her, well, listen, if it's 2 people on me, that means somebody's open. And that's
Definitely.
common sense. I have to pitch ahead. I have to make the right read. I feel like now in today's game, that's not glorified anymore. Everybody wants to, all right, when you get past half court, I'm gonna go get a bucket. She used to get so mad at me. She'd be like, stop passing
Not
to them.
every time though.
Not
I didn't
every
get
time,
mad
but a
every
lot of times I
time.
would have to explain to her as a teenager, like, look, mom, the right players, the best players make the right reads.
Definitely.
Like, I didn't care about, like, I could go get 30. I've had games where I can go get 30, but I was big on playing the right way. If my teammate's open, I don't care if he missed the layup 4 times in a row. Basketball knowledge serves. If it's 2 people on me, you have to give them the confidence to make the layup.
No, definitely. You definitely kept all the team players involved, and I really admired that about you. Because you did have opportunities to where you could have, like, I'm like, just drive in and make the shot. Like, you could have done it, but you just, like, that ball movement was like so important to you. And I really admire that though, because you never played selfish ball. Like, I can't recall a time where I was like, okay, you're a ball hogger. Like, you've never done that. It's more like you always just made sure everybody shine, including yourself, but you shared the ball, which was huge. But you know, there was some opportunity where you could have shot the ball, but you know, we're just gonna let it go.
Yeah, I will say this: if I played it, if I could go back and I played in today's game, I'm getting 40 a night, easy.
You're not gonna pass the ball.
No, I would, but it's just a different time period, like, you know what I'm saying. But that's another conversation for another day. All right, last question. I think I know this answer, but it could change. Who's your all-time favorite basketball player and why?
That'll never change. That answer will just never change.
Let the world know, because I know who it is.
It is Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bean Bryant. I ain't gonna lie, listen to y'all. Listen, when I was a kid, the first jersey my mother ever bought me was a number 8 Kobe Bryant.
Yes, number 8.
It was Kobe Bryant and Allen Iverson, but it was Kobe Bryant. We've been Kobe fans since I could walk. And so, like, every finals, like anytime we would gather at my aunt's house, and we would watch all the finals. We would watch literally from game 1 all the way to game 7 every night. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, listen, my mom, she don't say too much, but when them Lakers was playing, oh my goodness, you couldn't tell her nothing. Like, it was Kobe over everybody.
It was Kobe over everybody, y'all.
So
it was Kobe over everybody. Like, it didn't matter what we were doing that day. It's like, if we knew the game was coming on, we was like, listen, we gotta go.
We gotta go.
Like,
we going to watch Kobe play. So yeah, that's pretty dope. So that's really where the love came from. And to close this thing out, what advice would you give to the youth out here, to any parents, or it can be anything, basketball related, life related, whatever you want it to be?
Follow through. That's, I think, the best advice at the moment that I think I can give. Sometimes in life, general, whether sports or whatever you're into, sometimes we don't follow through with things. A lot of times when it gets hard or when it gets challenging, or if there's barriers, we pull out and we move on to the next thing. But if you want to really develop yourself, if you want to really grow, talking about growth opportunities, human beings grow when they go through challenges, not when they pull out of challenges. So I just really encourage everyone who's listening to don't give up, like, follow through. And it's okay. So what? You fall on the ground, pick yourself back up, dust off, and keep trying until you finish it, complete it, get it done.
Listen, Mama Shayla said it, get it done. Man, we appreciate y'all tapping in with us on this episode, man. Episode 5.
And I'm proud of you. I love you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I love me some Percy, y'all.
100%.
If you want to see me get mad, mess with him. It's over.
True statement.
It'll be over.
But nah, we appreciate y'all tapping in for episode 5, man. We're going to drop it this week on YouTube. Stay tuned. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, motion_for you. Subscribe to us on YouTube, Motion for You. Stay tuned. Episode 5, we out.
We out.